Bing, that's the end of that windmill. If the birds don't kill it first. The birds can kill it first. They kill so many birds. You look underneath some of those windmills, it's like a killing field of birds.
In California, if you kill a bald eagle, they put you in jail for 5 years. And yet the windmills knock them out like flies.
An economy based on wind. I never understood wind. You know, I know windmills very much. I've studied it better than anybody. I know it's very expensive. They're made in China and Germany mostly. Very few made here, almost none. But they're manufactured tremendous, if you're into this, tremendous fumes, gases are spewing into the atmosphere. You know, we have a world, right? So the world is tiny compared to the universe. So tremendous amount of fumes and everything. You talk about the carbon footprint, fumes are spewing into the air, right? It's spewing. Whether it's in China, Germany, it's going into the air, it's our air, their air, everything, right? Hillary wanted to put up wind. If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, congratulations. Your house just went down 75% in value. And they say the noise causes cancer. You told me that one, okay? You know, the thing makes it so, and of course it's like a graveyard for birds. If you love birds, you'd never want to walk under a windmill.
The wind is very tough because those windmills are very, very expensive, and they kill the birds, and they look very terrible. Isn't it amazing the way the environmentalists love the windmills, and yet they kill all the birds?
It's very, very negative for the environment. It's killing the birds. All of these wind farms, they're really destroying Scotland. They're making developers rich. The only one who makes money with a wind farm are the developers. But taxes are being risen and lifted very high in Scotland because of the subsidy that has to be paid to wind farms. As far as the one in Aberdeen, we don't think it'll ever be built because nobody is going to want to spend £200 million for the privilege of losing £35 million a year. And Vattenfall doesn't have the money to do it, and they're the developer. Well, we're really happy with Turnberry, and as you know, we have the Women's British Open coming up at the end of July. We have so much activity here. The people love it. It's one of the great courses of the world. It's my favorite course in the world, and we're going to be making some beautiful changes, and we're going to be rebuilding the hotel at the highest tone of luxury, and I think it's going to be something that maybe will be the greatest resort anywhere in the world. It certainly has that kind of potential.
And you know what they don't tell you about windmills? After 10 years, they look like hell. You know, they start to get tired, old. You got to replace them. A lot of times people don't replace them. They need massive subsidy from the government in order to make it. No, we're doing it right. We're doing it right. And, you know, our numbers environmentally right now are better than they've ever been before, just so you know. Because I'm an environmentalist. I am. I want the cleanest water on the planet. I want the cleanest air anywhere.
Strong energy, the United States. My opponent was into other forms of energy like windmills.
President Trump, please
We are
respond, and then I have some
We are
follow-ups.
energy independent for the first time. We don't need all of these countries that we had to fight war over because we needed their energy. We are energy independent. I know more about wind than you do. It's extremely expensive, kills all the birds, it's very intermittent, it's got a lot of problems, and they happen to make the windmills in both Germany and China, and the fumes coming up, if you're a believer in carbon emission, the fumes coming up to make these massive windmills is more than anything that we're talking about with natural gas, which is very clean. One other thing.
Find me a scientist said that.
I love solar, but solar doesn't quite have it yet. It's not powerful yet.
When there's thousands of birds laying at the base of the windmill, what do we do? Isn't that amazing, the environmentalists? We like windmills. Oh, really? What about the thousands of birds they're killing? Try going to the bottom of a windmill someday. It's not a pretty picture.
It is a very, very serious problem that we are addressing. In my opinion, it's one of the most serious problems that Scotland will have or has had. Wind turbines, not renewable energy. I'm all for renewable energy. I believe in wave technology. I believe in tide technology. In particular, I think you have great opportunities for other things and other forms of energy. But as an example, hydro. But wind turbines made in China are going to be the destruction and almost a total destruction of your tourism industry. If you look at what's happened recently, A very unattractive wind turbine was just put up at Royal Aberdeen right on the course. Royal Aberdeen didn't know about it. The members are going absolutely crazy. I said, and you haven't seen the worst. Wait till they turn it on and you hear all the noise. They don't know what to do. They didn't know it was going to happen. They were blindsided.
So they make these things, and then they put them up. And if you own a house within vision of some of these monsters, your house is worth 50% of the price. They're noisy. They kill the birds. You want to see a bird graveyard? You just go. Take a look. A bird graveyard? Go under a windmill someday. You'll see more birds than you've ever seen ever in your life. You know, in California, they were killing the bald eagle. If you shoot a bald eagle, they want to put you in jail for 10 years. A windmill will kill many bald eagles. It's true. And you know what? After a certain number, they make you turn the windmill off. That's true, by the way. They make you turn it off after you. And yet, if you killed one, they put you in jail. That's okay. But why is it okay for these windmills to destroy the bird population? And that's what they're doing. I'll tell you another thing about windmills. And look, I like all forms of energy. And I think really they're okay in industrial areas, like you have an industrial plant, you put up a windmill, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I've seen the most beautiful fields, farms, most gorgeous things you've ever seen. And then you have these ugly things going up. And sometimes they're made by different companies. You know, I'm like a perfectionist. I really built good stuff. And so you'll see like a few windmills made by one company, General Electric. And then you'll see a few made by Siemens. And you'll see a few made by some other guy that doesn't have 10 cents. It looks like so you see all these windmills. They're all different shades of color. They're like sort of white, but one's like an orange white. It's my favorite color, orange. And you see these magnificent fields, and they're ruined.
It kills massive amounts of birds and wildlife, and there are lots of other reasons. So it's a very inefficient form of energy. It's an energy that when you need it most, you don't get it because the wind isn't blowing when you need it most. And from the standpoint of Scotland, I think almost most importantly, other than the fact that the subsidies are enormous, almost most importantly, they are so unattractive, so ugly, so noisy, and so dangerous that if Scotland does this, I think Scotland will be in serious trouble. I think you'll lose your tourism industry to Ireland and lots of other places that are laughing at what Scotland's doing. Hydro is fabulous. It's fabulous energy. It's not intermittent. You can turn it off anytime you want. And I think just as a recommendation to this committee, I think you should seriously study hydro. You have tremendous water resources.